First we hunt it, then we kill it. Easy to say, easy to do.
A long-expected game that boasted dozens of accolades before launch is now here and on the scene, but in a gaming sense, how mature is Evolve? Evolve has grown to full size, ripe on the tree for gamers to pluck from the video game stores, online and offline, a co-op multiplayer game from Turtle Rock Studios and 2K Games. Here's the deal. On one side, we have the monster. On the other, 4 hunters: Assault, Support, Trapper, and the Medic. The objective? Hunt the monster. Gamers get a chance to either be the pursuers of the beast or the beast itself. From the Goliath, the Kraken, the Wraith, and the Behemoth. You can choose your preference of character in online matchmaking, ranking from highest to lowest. Doesn't always work out in your favor, but it's the most fair system possible in this format. Maps are mostly shadowy, gloomy, misty in nature, from New Calico to the Refueling Tower and the Rendering Plant, to name a few, with all sorts of dingy, prehistoric-like wildlife with names like Blitz Leopards, Reavers, Marsh Striders. I couldn't really tell the difference. Creatures in the water, watch out for those. Carnivorous plants that hide in the brush as well to consume an unsuspecting hunter, who you can hopefully save. Killing an elite creature results in what they call a buff, or what I like to call an in-the-field perk, to pick up off the carcass, which every hunter can take, even the enemy monster, no matter who kills it. The game modes: Skirmish, which is the most common and utilizes the hunt mode. Hunters kill the monster, and the monster must kill the hunters. The game's name itself, Evolve, comes from what the monster can do in the field with the slaughter and gorging of creatures to evolve and grow stronger, amassing points to assign to abilities and then become more potent, going to stage 2 and then stage 3 that allows you to go after a power relay to end the match. The next game mode, Nest. Here, as a monster, you either protect 6 monster eggs, or as a hunter, discover and eliminate them. Rescue. As the hunter, revive 5 colonists, aiding them in their escape. As the monster, kill the 5 colonists before they're retrieved. And defend. Hunters safeguard power generators fueling a starship, and as the monster, with help from smaller demons, your job is to obliterate those same generators. Evacuation takes you through 5 matches in all over what the game calls 5 days, with various usage of all aforementioned modes and maps that are also voted on by gamers. Character mastery and performance lead to unlocked upgrades, perks, and new personalities. The gameplay is remarkable. For a relatively restricted game, it rolls out excellent, stunning action, moves very well. The battles are amazingly intense and engaging. But I have to point out some inadequacies. One concerns tutorials, the explanation of character functions. It is very poorly done. There's immediate instruction on how to use the monster, but little guidance about how to play with the hunters. Yes, you'll receive some instructions when first trying out a character, but mostly by spoken word, a one-shot deal, which leads you to track down the tutorial section to watch the videos again a few more times. It's just a dreadful system. Now, here's one example about this confusion and lack of teaching. Playing as the Trapper in this case, deploying this mobile arena to trap the monster. It's armed with a certain button, but they never tell you how to subsequently toss the container to open up the arena. Support. Executing an orbital barrage. Took me several matches to realize you need to hold a certain button again to arm it and then drop the bombs. But they don't tell you that. Additional prompts would be helpful, but I didn't find any. It required too much time to get the hang of things in solo one-player mode. Who wants to do that? I want to get into multiplayer, playing friends, playing real people. I hated this. A dedicated training area would have helped. I essentially used offline one-player for that, but it made me miserable to start. Matchmaking in multiplayer mode can be at times excessively long. I know, I hear it already. B, matchmaking is always an issue in multiplayer games. You're right, it is. But Evolve has an above-average wait time, and it should not be this deliberate with a new title that is all about matchmaking. Options exist to have a custom match or inviting friends to play, but sometimes we don't have our buddies around the game, and we gotta go into that general lobby. Oftentimes, you're selecting a character, finding players, getting to the match, looking at the Throbber circle graphic. When am I going to play? My worst was this one. Went on for several minutes waiting for players for 10 minutes, never arrived. On to my grading. The scale goes from poor, fair, good, and excellent. Presentation. It is excellent. Terrain, environment, maps, monsters, hunters, high and low ground, a healthy mix of man-made and natural landscapes. Having said that, appearance is something, but not everything. Technical gameplay, also excellent. Roles require a tad too much practice and hands-on learning. Usage of tools and weapons improve with character mastery, but can prove to be agonizing to a gamer who just doesn't have that immediate toleration of the beginnings of gameplay to see better functionality. To clarify here, I don't find the shortcomings to be insurmountable. Gets better with practice and time, but you gotta commit to it, you gotta do it. Narrative? Well, there is none, so can't really rate a story that doesn't exist. It is a situational, ambiguous multiplayer, but I can still assign a poor grade for lack of an attempt to create some sort of foundation and identity, aside from plopping down characters and essentially saying, go ahead and play, have fun. Revisiting. It means, do I want to come back to the game again and again and again over days and weeks? The grade here is good. I had to plow through my initial gamer rage to scratch the surface of any achievement and dexterity with matches, but it does eventually arrive and becomes addicting. But the beginner's barrier, that self-education process of Evolve, might be a little too much for the average gamer to overcome. It requires patience. Let me explain further. The key to enjoyment for Evolve lies in the gamer's approach. It is essential that you realize that once you begin, we're talking about a title with finite parameters and maps. This is arena-style co-op multiplayer, not an open-world first-person shooter with a plot. We're talking about a hunter-stalker-style first-person with boundaries and specific goals. You're either the monster or you're the hunter killing the monster. That's all you do. If you accept that and don't look for things that aren't there, your enjoyment will come, and in turn, your patience, a valued virtue here, will take you beyond your first few hours adjusting to some of the agonizing shortcomings. So with that, I'll explain my final judgment as best as possible, as honestly as possible. Evolve is a fantastic, well-crafted co-op, without taking into account any outside controversies. My gamer heart and gut, though, compels me to include more that is going on beyond the physical game itself. I cannot give an honest review as a gamer like you without fleshing out the full picture. Turtle Rock and 2K Games should not be selling a multiplayer for $60. It's exactly what destroyed Titanfall for Xbox last year. What makes this worse, on top of the $60 price point, there are dozens of DLCs, downloadable content, the Season Pass, the digital deluxe version that comes with the Season Pass, the $100 PC Monster Race with additional characters that aren't in the console version, and the cherry on the shit cake, an in-game shop that requires real money to buy add-on content, just like a free-to-play game on your mobile device with microtransactions. Oh my God. Extremely insulting to the gamer and the consumer. I already paid $60 for this title, and you're telling me there's more and more and more that I have to pay for? Now look, we've seen this before. DLCs are commonplace these days, not unfamiliar territory. But this is egregious and outright disgusting. It taints what I feel is a superb final product, standalone, but is viewed unfavorably by the average gamer because of the monetary and extra content scheme. The publisher and developer spoiled the fun, and they shot themselves in the foot. This is going to lead to disaster in a PR sense. With all that on the table, you might be surprised to hear me say that I think you should get Evolve. I went over this again and again and again. I rewrote this review several times. I was up in the air. Should I tell him to get it? Should I tell him not to get it? I was initially going to say forget about it, but I've cooled my heels, let go of my anger, thinking objectively from a need to play a quality game, singular game. I do believe Evolve, as a game as it stands, without the additional content, is a quality game that you will love. You're not going to miss out if you don't have the add-ons and the DLC. There's enough there for you to like. It's tough love. Can you separate your emotions from all the crap that 2K and Turtle Rock has dumped on us with the DLCs and money issues? Please do. For those gamers posting reviews on Steam, posting elsewhere on blogs, social networks, reaming the game, I really don't believe they gave the current game a fair shot. My suspicion is they're coming from gamers who played a few matches, didn't do well, didn't have the patience, then they used the old price point, the DLCs, everything else, which is a legitimate gripe, to completely bash it. Ironically, these are the same gamers who come after me and accuse me of playing a few hours of a game and releasing my opinion that is contrary to theirs. That's really not fair. You can't say that. Evolve will grow on you. I'm telling you. I'm being sincere. Evolve receives my high critical marks, but I do share your concerns and lack of love when it comes to value overall. The pricing and the shrunken experience that requires bank to expand shuns a large gaming base that seeks something more comprehensive and less expensive. However, keep going with Evolve. Keep an open mind. The payoffs will come. Your enjoyment will follow, and Evolve will become one of your great loves. If not now, down the line, a few weeks from now, a few months from now, when the price goes down. Maybe it's not the right time for you to get Evolve because of the cost. I don't blame you. But give it a true chance at some point, whether it be now or down the road.